Happy Sunday, everybody.
What's going on, good people?
Welcome to week 18 of 52 weeks of focus. We're fresh from church.
Yeah, as you can see.
Yep, a great message today about increasing your faith.
Yeah, pretty good, man.
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah.
Shout out to Metropolitan Baptist Church.
Yes.
And is it in Largo or is it in
Upper.
Upper Marlboro?
Yeah.
Maryland. There we go. I get it a little
Yeah.
mixed up with the DMV thing, but
Yeah.
but pretty good service. So,
Yeah.
what are we talking about today?
We are talking about power in a path. Yeah, power in a path for week 18.
Let me say it correct. All right. It's the power of a path.
Oh, well, my bad.
And basically, what we'll be talking about today is the, as she gets on the computer as we're recording.
Scrolling down.
Whew, Lord, y'all, help me out today. All right, but no, we want to let's talk about the journey itself. Everybody has their independent journeys that are assigned by God and for God, and I think a lot of times that we lose sight of the big picture as we go through the microscopic battles and come up to obstacles in our own personal journey. So today we'll be just giving you guys a little bit more insight into the bigger picture as with hopes of helping you get through whatever stage of your journey that you're on or path that you're on now. So as always, you'll get 2 points from me.
And 2 from me.
Yes, so we will not be before you long. I think I'm going to get that catchphrase on the shirts. But no, we definitely want to thank you guys. We added a few more.
3 more subscribers.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and say this because I'm pretty sure I will forget. Guys, if you like what we've been doing, guys, go back and look at other videos.
Yes.
Also, hit the subscribe button. Again, you guys drive our content. So as we get feedback from you guys, we kind of put our 2 heads together and come up with what God has given us to give to you. And we would love to know how effective it is being, or how effective it is, as we're going through. So,
Yes.
Cool,
Yes.
cool. So I will start off with the first 2 points. And point number 1 is just a very general overview of the importance. Jesus, I can't talk today. Of having a path. First things first, it is important to understand that everybody has a path. Literally everybody that you see, everybody that you hear about, everybody has a path. Now, where the complicated stuff comes in is that everybody is at different stages of their path, and which we'll go through a little bit later on because I don't want to step on somebody else's point. So how I did that, y'all. I stopped before I was going to get onto somebody else's point.
Oh boy.
But we'll go to Proverbs chapter 3 and 6, and it just says, "In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he will direct thy path." That is important to understand. Again, everybody has a path. Literally everybody. And we must understand our source and our guide along our path, which is, the Lord. And we have to be able to look at our paths and say, wait, I have a path here. Like it is like, but what does that mean? All right. Well, having a path indicates that there is an end goal. All right. Having a path indicates that there is a direction that I am going in. Also, having a path indicates that there is a specific reason for me being here, i.e., a purpose for me being here. Now, of course, it is not going to happen overnight. All right, you are not born in your understanding of your purpose. So for some, you may be still in that discovery stage, or you may still be in that let me run away from it real quick, like I was doing for the longest. Or you may have, hit that nail on the head and say, hey, this is it. This is what God has placed me here to do. But all those things have a particular path in like mind. So you are on a path, all right? And there's actually some good things that come out of having a path, all right? That actually validates that the purpose that God has for you. No matter if you found your purpose, finding your purpose, or you're lost, all right? That indicates that, hey, you know what? I feel lost. So that means I must be running away from something, or I may be missing what I'm actually here to do. All right, that feeling that you have, that lost feeling, indicates that, wait, something ain't right. There may be the Holy Spirit in you saying, like, wait a minute, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in ministry. It doesn't have to be in, the usher board. It doesn't have to be in, whatever we have deemed to be servicing. Okay, so it comes from within, and God has placed that purpose within us. But again, once we recognize that we are on a journey, that feeling of where you are in your journey will kind of, come up. Okay? Did that make sense?
That makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. You have anything you want to say?
No.
Okay, good. All right. Also, having a path in any destination, okay, that we're gonna go to, you're gonna have a start point and you're gonna have an end point, okay, and no matter what that point is, you're going to have a point of improvement, and you're going to have a point of movement. All right, those two things kind of define what you are, I guess, going after. It defines your end goal, and that is actually your path. Like you traveling that particular path, and how you move, and how you improve, or if you move, or if you decide to improve.
Right.
Those two things kind of determine the fruits of your labor as far as the end goal is concerned on your path. Okay? Did that make sense, everybody? If not, maybe not. Okay, good. All right. Anything on the importance of acknowledging your path?
Everybody's path is unique, and everybody has their way of getting to where they need to go, and that's okay.
Cool. That's it?
Yep.
All right, cool. So, point number one was the importance of having a path. Now, just because you have a path, okay, for number two, all right, it is important that you follow your path. So having a path indicates that you have been given the purpose of God and have been given at least the blueprint of God's purpose for you. But following the path, ooh, Jesus, that's another story. All right? It's the difference between being hungry and actually eating. All right? You can be hungry all day, but until you do something about it, you still going to be hungry. All right?
Yep.
And we want to make sure that we kind of highlight the importance of following your path. We'll go to Psalms 25, verse 4, and it says, "Show me thy ways, O Jehovah, and teach me thy paths." Now, the big part of that is the first clause, and it just says, "Show me thy ways." All right? You have to understand that acknowledging that you have a path means nothing if you're not going to follow it. And if you're not in your word or in some type of meditation or something, all right, you will continue to feel lost and to be at that first stage of, wait, am I on the path or not? Okay, but once you've acknowledged it, it is your responsibility that God has given us, but then our free will, to follow that particular path. And in following your path, you showcase one, where you really are, because this world has a keen way of lying to us as we lie to ourselves about some areas, or this world gives us the ability to hide from our an accurate depiction of where we are. Okay, which again, I say this every week, I think, with your social media and with your newspapers and with your selective hearing and with your fake news and with your all that. We have ability to kind of put a veil over who we really are, where we really are. Meanwhile, we are not following our purpose, which brings on a few other, other issues that, as back in the day, we used to call it false claiming. That's a country term. Brings us. Okay. Also, following your path requires and strengthens the discipline that we need to not only serve our own path, but the body of Christ. All right. So let's not get it twisted here. Having a path from God, having a purpose from God, walking in that purpose requires you to have discipline. It requires your not only your eyes and your actions to be kind of disciplined in what you do and what you don't do, but also your soul as well, and making sure that you're in a good place mentally, physically, and as my wife is looking at the dog, you just made me break my thought. Basically, I'll start over. Basically, we want to make sure that we're in tune with our mind, our body, and our soul on God, what God has for us, instead of the millions of billions of issues that seem to be kind of all over everywhere, from the news to the the negative TV shows to the radio to the music that can have a effect on how we kind of move from day to day. Okay, so so thus far we just talked about the importance of following your path. As you follow your path, it shows you where you are, and gives you an accurate depiction of where you are in your journey, which is for you. Okay, which does kind of require us to have a little bit of self awareness and honesty within ourselves. And that actually may be a good thing. You may be stronger than you thought, which in most cases we are, or you may be like, I've been kind of shamming a little bit, and it takes a real good look into the mirror to figure out, okay, wait, let me stop acting and faking the funk and actually start putting some things together, some tangible things together. Also, following your path shows you the discipline that you have, or shows or requires you to have the discipline required to follow not only your path, but the path for God's kingdom. And lastly, following your path indicates what you are truly capable of. There are a million paths out there, guys. There are a million religions, there are a million different faiths, there are a million different gods and all that kind of stuff out there in the world. But by following your path and your individual path, it'll give you an indication of your own abilities that God has given us. And as we have more faith in the things that God's given us, we'll have more access to the things that God has for us. I'm done. So it is very important to have faith in God, so we can realize the tools that God has given us. But we can't do that, if we're following, love and hip hop more so than we are our own, personal journeys. And I think that's what we have kind of gotten into. And there's nothing wrong with love and hip hop. I don't watch it, but once we become more invested in that, then we do our own kind of progress, or Black Ink Crew, or whatever it's called. We have to be aware that our journey is for Him, so it requires a lot of our attention. But we can't serve both of those. All right. So I'm not saying you can't watch it. I'm just saying that make sure that it is not clouding your judgment as far as where you are in your own journey. Because it's easy. Trust me. And then furthermore, them jokers don't got to get as y'all think. They rough out here, boy. I've seen a few in person. They heard anything else and the importance of following your path.
No.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, cool. So, point number 3.
All right, that's over to me. Of course, as far as following your path and the importance of your path, there are stages of your path that actually get you to or through the finish line. Just to start, Proverbs 3:27. says, "Withhold not good from them to whom it is due, when it is in the power of thine hand to do it." So what this Bible verse is saying to me is that the power and the destiny and the ability to complete and go forth as far as your path is in your hands as well as God's. I know sometimes we second guess what our path may be, but this Bible verse clearly says that, God holds all power in thy hand. And I personally think, as I said before, that translates into power within our hand. And just to start, your path in terms of where you are with God, that's a great starting point in terms of, the stages of your path, because God ultimately decides the path that you are due to follow. Although your path, you may think your path is straight and narrow. For instance, the yellow brick road from the Wizard of Oz. Toto and, Wendy, the main character. Wendy. You know what I'm talking about. The main character.
You mean Dorothy? Jesus,
Dorothy.
Lord.
Dorothy, my bad. I'm thinking about somebody else. I'm probably thinking about her sister. But anyway, Dorothy.
Now she got a sister, y'all.
Let me finish. So Dorothy was following the yellow brick road, and she thought that it was just a straight path to her way of getting home. Although she ran into multiple obstacles along the way, her path was guided by those that came directly in her path, such as the lion with no heart and the Tin Man. She didn't see the purpose behind them until later on down the line, or actually when they made it to the castle for help. That goes hand in hand with how God guides you along that yellow brick road or that path. There may be obstacles in the way, but ultimately the end goal.
You know what? I wasn't following until you just said that. So basically, you're saying that God has already went through this particular path, and it is important to start with God where you are at, because He's gonna guide you through. Like, I like what you did right there. I was lost, y'all.
You had to give me a chance.
She brought that thing around now. She brought that thing around. My bad.
Okay, back to focusing on point 3.
I got you.
And
I was lost, y'all. Sorry, my bad.
You must continue your path in the midst of your struggle, because God knows the end result, which goes back to what I was just talking about, the yellow brick road.
Yeah, I got
or
you.
your path.
Okay.
That struggle may be there in order to grow you, in order to, prune you of things around you that are stopping you from being successful in your path. That struggle can also put a light on what God needs to work on within you.
A lot of us are in this stage of it, including me.
Me too.
Oh, my bad.
Whatever.
My
Back to focusing on the points.
My mouth
He
is
didn't have to
delivered.
be so.
My mouth is delivered, y'all, but my
He
face.
didn't have to be so. You were obvious with your facial expression.
God still is working on it.
Okay, back to what I was discussing. And then next, you have to finish your path despite the influences of this world. There are so many things that can actually be thrown in your path, such as, just as Phil was talking about, negative media, negative TV shows, negative music, negative people that are constantly in your ear, or things that you see. Although you don't realize it, your eyes are truly the window to your soul. So whatever you choose, or whatever you're constantly watching, whatever you're choosing to, constantly expose yourself to, is directly, affecting your journey, your path. I know myself, within the last couple of weeks, I've been making it a point to do, positive affirmations for myself daily.
And me.
And yeah, and actually he, Phil introduced me to it. I didn't realize how much I was actually negatively thinking about certain things. And there are certain things that I tell myself throughout the day, that this day will be great. This week will be great. This meeting will go great. It's some certain things that you have to speak into the universe or speak into your life in order for those things to come to pass. And there are some positive affirmations that I've been saying, for myself personally, because I have faith that those things will come to pass. And that helps you with, your path and the stages of your path. Although you may go through struggles, you may have negative influences, if those positive influences should always outweigh the negative. So just recapping stages of your path.
Stage number 1. Go ahead.
What?
Stage number 1.
Oh, stage number 1 is starting your path where you are with God, which is the most important step.
And you can actually read that a different way too, because when I ain't thinking about it. Starting your path where you are, and good and God first, and then going on, and then you can do it the way that she said it, which is starting where you are with God, like where you at with Him right now.
Right.
Boy.
All right. Stage 2 is continuing your path in the midst of your struggle because of God.
Mm-hmm. Because of what He did for us. Easter's was just the other week.
Yeah, just a few weeks ago.
And I'm all regular.
And then stage 3 is finishing your path despite the influence of this world.
Mm-hmm.
You have to continue pushing forward. You have to continue leaning in.
Yeah, keep it on.
Because you only have one life to live.
Litz. That means, they don't know that.
No, they
Litz
don't know
means, and she don't know it either. Litz means life is too short. All right? Litz!
Oh, boy. Okay. All right, let's focus. Let's focus. He's about to start Millie rocking again. All right.
That's the old.
That's
the Uncle Millie rock. My bad.
So the fourth and final point is the purpose of a path or your path. So I'm just gonna say that again. The fourth and final point is the purpose of your path.
Hey, boy, when I wrote these 3 right here, Jesus.
So starting off with one of my favorite Bible verses, Psalms 143:8. It says, "Let me hear your loving kindness in the morning, for I trust in you. Teach me the way in which I should walk, for I lift up my soul to you."
Hey, boy, I like that one. I want to get down on a little wall sticker.
So
A little fake laugh. I heard that. I saw that. Boy, rub my head, boy.
fake wall. Never mind. Fake. We talking about fake wall stickers. Okay, back to the lesson.
Come on, man.
Okay. So this Bible verse says so much in the few sentences that it has. It says, for one, teach me the way in which I should walk.
Mm-hmm.
If that doesn't say and let you know that God is guiding your every step in your every path, every struggle, every direction within your life, it can't get any more obvious than that. And for I lift my soul up to you is letting go and letting God in every aspect of your life.
Man, I think we said it every week. Y'all got
Yes.
it yet.
So just to start, one, purpose of your path stretches our faith.
Point number. Go ahead now, minister.
Stretching your faith can be hard at times because your faith is constantly tested. If your faith is constantly tested, you're forced to stretch in ways that you didn't know that you could in the first place. It forces you to think outside the box. It forces you to keep pushing despite wanting to give up. Stretching your faith means stretching your faith in every single area of your life. Mm-hmm. You can't stretch in one area and expect to be blessed in the other.
And you know what's funny about that? With the path deal? I think your path requires you to do that. At some point or another, it requires you to stretch it. Like that is, you stretching your faith is required to move along through a specific part of your journey, which is different for everybody. I think that's actually kind of dope that like he stretches us.
Yeah. You know, like kind of like the putty that you used to play with when you were,
Some of y'all used to eat it too, did y'all?
I
Y'all ain't no good.
I didn't eat it, but you know how you
like
used
little
to
pizza.
stretch it, you know, in different ways, and you tried to, twist it up, and you threw it, and then it, still maintained its shape. That's an example of stretching your faith, because
Yeah.
you're able to stretch that putty as many ways as possible,
Right.
but it still doesn't break.
And you don't know you can stretch it until it's actually stretched.
Right.
Hey, boy. How about kidney? No looks.
So, number 2, purpose of your path strengthens your faith. Again, I say purpose of your path strengthens your faith. Although I know I'm still working on strengthening my faith daily, because there are things that constantly come in and test my faith. Strengthening your faith allows you to be unwaverable in your path and your purpose. Regardless of what may come at you, trying to attack you and your purpose and your path, if your faith is unwaverable, nothing can break that. Nothing can infiltrate that. Nothing can intrude on that. Because you, again, as I said, and I think it was a few lessons ago, your faith only has to be as big as a mustard seed. Doesn't have to be 50 million mustard seeds, just one.
Me. That's a lot.
And just going into the last point, purpose of a path stabilizes our faith. Your faith has to be stable in order for your path to be finalized, in order for you to reach your final destination or your final purpose or your final, your final goal in life. Whether that's to, start up your own business, start up your own nonprofit, join the church. That could be, the start of your path to greatness. You don't have to start off big in order to be successful. It only takes one small step of faith in order to be successful. Nobody that you see that you look up to started at the top.
Right.
Everything had a purpose, everything had a time, and there was a purpose to their path. So when the next time that, you want to take a leap of faith and do something that you don't feel comfortable doing, remember there's a purpose of your path. Just to recap, point 3.
Can I wrap up point 4?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm saying when you
okay.
get to that part.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm about to go with
Oh boy.
Kojic.
Oh boy. So point 3 was stages of your faith. And those stages were starting your path where you are with God. 2, continuing your path in the midst of struggle because of God. And the last, finishing your path despite the influence of this world. Moving into the 4th point, which was purpose of a path, you have to learn to stretch your faith, strengthen your faith, and stabilize your faith.
And with number 4, guys, that's really like super powerful, because it talks about the purpose of whatever stage that you're in, whether you're in the starting, whether you're in the continuing, or whether you're in the finishing, young, old, whatever. The purpose is extremely important to look back at, because as we go through our paths and the obstacles in our paths come, and the opposition inserts itself, or we allow the opposition to insert itself, it requires us to stretch. It requires us to stretch in our faith and believe in things that happening, and believe things are happening that we don't see the evidence of happening, and understanding that, hey, once I stretch that faith and God intervenes, or my strength that He has given me intervenes, you get strength from those particular events that had happened before, which is huge for me, because there are things that I have gone through and are currently going through it's easier because I've known and I've understood that, man, back then when your boy was living at the whip, that's all I had. And I was able to use those experiences from the past to remind myself of the faith that I already have in God, because He has already done millions of things for me. Okay, right. And as a result of understanding that strength, it stabilizes our faith in Him. Yep. Okay, and by stabilize I mean, hey, we know we right here, we good. All right, I know He has done this before for me, and He's gonna do it again if it's in His will. So that is that. When I was writing that part, I almost got up in church. Yes, I wrote the last one in church. But when I almost stood up and we was actually at a quiet part of the service, they're gonna be like, what's wrong with him? But I was just, but seriously though, the most important point in all this is that point number 4 is your purpose. All right, as we go over 30 minutes. So, yeah, we definitely appreciate you guys. We definitely appreciate you guys kind of sticking in there with us.
Yes.
And again, let us know, comment, do whatever. We're not doing this for the likes and the subscribers. We're just making sure that we're servicing God's people in the way that He has led us to do so.
Yes.
And your comments help along with.
And if you have any suggestions as far as videos, as far as 52 Weeks of Focus, let us know. Comment, message us. Let us know. Actually, at some point, I guess we probably should add our social media so they can contact us.
Yeah.
We didn't think about that, but
to right now. So
yeah. So
Ricky's in this thing.
So thank you for your time. I hope you guys have a blessed week. And remember to focus on your path. And we'll see you guys next week.
Look at her. She done forgot to pray.
Oh, my bad.
And it's her turn.
Oops. No, I prayed last week.
All right, Heavenly Father, thank you for another amazing week as we go through trials and tribulations, God. Thank you for being our source. Thank you for being the reason that we get up with a renewed faith every single morning. And as we continue to go on our paths, God, give us the wisdom, the understanding, and the strength to continue on. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Say that, David. Oof.
Yeah, ooh. That was a great prayer break.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Have a good day.
Y'all have a good one. Peace.